Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm particularly excited today because I am joined by sales guru, AI specialist, remarkable speaker, friend. I call him my mentor as well, and somebody who understands how rapidly the world is changing and how to make AI your friend. Chuck, very good morning to you.
So good to work with you again, Nadia. I follow you all the time. We have so much in common, and yet we're so different. You talk funny, for one thing.
Yes.
And of course, that accent gives credibility immediately. But you and I have followed technology for a while. We followed the speaking and training business for a while. We followed PR for a while. So it's good to reconnect again.
And Chuck, it's wonderful to reconnect. But what I've always admired about you is that you understood decades ago how the world was changing. You started online training before it became fashionable. You certainly, by the time COVID happened, you had already established an online world. So for you, this is just another aspect of the advancement of technology. What is your message for all of us this morning at whatever level we're at in terms of understanding how to not be scared of AI and how to, and I love the word you said, your budding relationship with AI, because whether we're conscious or not, we all are in a relationship with AI.
We are, and some people are in a budding relationship. There are people who are more mature with it than I am. So we're all on some kind of a continuum. And my goal for this presentation is wherever you are on that continuum, first of all, get rid of the fear. This is nothing to be afraid of. Embrace it because you do have a relationship with it. And then start thinking about what it can and cannot do for you. And catch this, for the people that you influence. See, influencer is a hot term right now, isn't it? Everybody's an influencer. Maybe positive, maybe negative, maybe small, maybe huge. But understand that AI is only the next generation of technological evolution. That's it. You and I have been through other evolutions before. There are people who don't remember the fax machine. When you and I were at NSA, the National Speakers Association meeting, I remember going there and people saying, "Do you have a fax yet?" And in no time at all, they would say, "Well, what's your fax number?" And now what do they say? "You still have a fax?"
That is fantastic. Chuck, it just jogged a memory for me. I stood on the top of Table Mountain in Cape Town. I was pregnant with my now 31-year-old daughter doing an advertisement for South Africa's telecom going, cellular telephony is a technological must. So that's our reminder that we've all adapted already well thus far.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
then is there some trepidation around incorporating AI into our lives now?
Yes. Yes. And what's boosting AI? AI is happening bigger and faster than any technology in the past. The next one will be bigger and faster. What we want to look at is it a fad? Is it a trend? Or is it a cycle? AI is a trend. It's going to continue. In the medical and financial and one other profession, they're still using fax machines because we can't send a PDF because people can modify a PDF. So this is going to be part of your life. Now, in the United States, where we are, we have a relationship with the IRS. And for most of us, it's, we don't like it, but they're going to get their due no matter what. So the relationship is there. We want to keep it friendly. And there are people who push the extreme, and I'll talk about this in just a minute. And there are people who dodge it and that sort of thing. But most of us are right here in the middle, trying to be fair, finding good counsel and advice. And that's probably what this is about. Every technological revolution has had its advocates and its foes. Henry Ford's banker told him the automobile will never replace the horse. So what did Henry Ford do? Change banks. Ben Carson, the neurosurgeon, the pediatric neurosurgeon, such a brilliant guy, appears now in 2 video commercials, but it's not him. They have taken his video. I can take your video, by the way, and modify it, make you say things you would never say. He is trying to sue them, and they're saying, because you're a public figure, we can use this. So there are some benefits and some dangers from AI, and we're all really in a budding stage right now. It came out of its shell. I listened to an interview the other day, and the moderator introduced the speaker as a man who got his master's degree in artificial intelligence in 1982. MIT was teaching it in the 1960s. So artificial intelligence is not new. What's new is the integration of multiple technologies. We've not had this before. So now we can have interdependent technologies and integrated technologies we've never had before. And look at what we can do. This is incredible. I have a client, he was a client, now he's a close friend, but a client, serial entrepreneur, building and selling technology companies. After the last one, we had a talk, and he decided he would be a philanthropist. And he said, children need to know how to write code. Everybody needs to know how to write code. Computers are the future. He has built this beautiful nonprofit and has tens of thousands of students enrolled in learning how to write code.
Chuck, you really are renowned as a sales expert. How are you teaching salespeople to integrate AI?
Oh, believe it or not, it's very simple. The three attributes of a great salesperson are uh, they have a big ego, they hate paperwork, and they are brave when they go out and sell. Well, we're lazy. The number one attribute of salespeople is lazy. When I go to them and say, when you're doing your pre-call planning, and you are doing your pre-call planning, aren't you? And most of them look at the floor because they aren't. Now let AI do it. Go to AI and say, I sell this. I'm calling on this company. What do I need to know? There it is.
That is a great nugget. It sounds simple and maybe a BLO, a blinding light of the obvious, but just because we know it, do we do
Yep.
it? And what platform do you use for that? Do you use ChatGPT? Is there anything else that gives us more information?
You brought up an excellent point. There's too many platforms out there. My recommendation is pick two, maybe three, and standardize on those because they get to know you. They get to know you. Give you an example. I have a new advanced sales training program came out that I built. It's on elicitation. The CIA, the FBI, Scotland Yard, they use elicitation rather than questions to interrogate people. And I thought there's a place for this in sales. So I built Elicit Sales, and people can see it at elicitsales.com. And I thought I'll sell it or offer it to the universities and colleges for their MBA programs. It's advanced. So I called a friend of mine who is the president of a university, and he said, yes, Chuck, it sounds interesting, but the course would have to be accredited. Can you imagine how excited I am about getting a course accredited? None. So I went to AI. I said, what does it take to get a course accredited? Gave me 8 pages of instructions. Guess what the last line was? Are you trying to get the course you talked to me about 3 weeks ago accredited?
Ah,
I said,
brilliant.
well, yes. Would you like for me to do this process for you? Well, okay. Ran it out. Would you like for me to give it to you in Word? It knows somehow that I'm PC and not Mac. I said, yeah, that'd be nice. I'd send in my proposal. At the end of that, it said, would you like a letter for the dean? I had planned to spend at least 7 days, working days, or 7 weeks putting this thing together. It was done in 7 minutes.
What platform did you use?
That one I used Grok.
Grok, oh, of course, Grok. Okay, so Grok, not ChatGPT, you used Grok. By the
Yes.
way, if you are just joining us, I am talking to one of the world's, and I'm not exaggerating when I say world's greatest sales trainer, AI expert, master speaker on AI, has an ability to condense, consolidate knowledge in a remarkable way, Chuck Reaves. Chuck was one of the first people to take training online. This was years and years and years ago, well before COVID. So Chuck, just reminding, because we do have people who are just joining us now.
Cool.
So for you, you use Grok, and as I say, take
I
note.
use Grok and Chat. Now, for no AI platform is good at everything.
Right.
So when I need graphics, I use Gemini, which is part of the Google family. So the best graphics I can get are with Gemini. And a key here, by the way, give it as much information as you can. The graphic that's behind me, the gentleman shaking
Would
hands
you
with a
like
robot.
to share that? Would you like to share your graphic? I know you
Yeah, let's
can
bring
go to
the
slide share.
bring the
Yes,
slides up if we
let's
can.
bring the slides up. Beautiful.
Okay, here's a gentleman shaking hands. Now, when we look at what is AI,
So you
I
did
only look
this
at
graphic.
AI for
Let's just say
sales
you
because
did these graphic on Gemini.
yes. So I asked Gemini to create a Swiss Army knife with my byline on it, which is AI plus GI equals ROI. Artificial intelligence, this is the most important point I'm going to make today. So listen, I'll probably say it twice. AI plus GI equals ROI. Success with AI requires your genuine intelligence. The people who are listening who are deep into AI see GI as general intelligence. I'm not talking about that. General intelligence is what AI uses. Genuine intelligence is what you must use in conjunction with AI to get the outcome that you want. Now, what I'm saying here is the key word is specialize. AI will do tons of stuff for you. Don't get distracted. While you're playing around with AI, it's going to ask you, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? No, stay focused. My wife uses AI in her counseling. She also uses it in her kitchen. If you download a recipe and there's an ingredient there that you don't like or doesn't agree with you, ask AI what ingredient you could substitute, and it'll tell you. It'll
And
map out
what does
trips
she
for you.
use for that? I know we have some people joining us now who going, oh, this is obvious, I do it. And some people going, this is revelatory. So what does she go on to?
Oh, she will do things like
ChatGPT or Grok, what does she go on to say, what can I substitute?
she primarily uses ChatGPT. I upgraded Grok and it hasn't transferred over to her Apple yet. We haven't figured out how to do that. But when this is over, I'm going to ask AI, how do I transfer it? And we make all of our decisions with AI. She was on the road last week, went to a high school reunion, rented a car I don't know anything about, and she had trouble finding one of the controls. Well, I'm a car guy and I'm a guy, so I need to know the answer to this. I said, well, it's probably, she said, ask your friend. My friend is Grok. So I went and asked my friend. Friend said, here's the dashboard. Here's where the control is. I mean, we ask it everything. Let me show you something else here. Artificial intelligence plus genuine intelligence equals positive results. You notice I've said it again. You notice that the AI is twirling because I've learned through AI, this is how we train people now. Our minds have been rewired. They're wired differently. But never forget what the A stands for. We've entered a new era, I would say in the last 6 weeks, where people are beginning to build the wrong kinds of relationships with AI. They're getting a little too close. It's artificial. If AI gives you an emotion, it's an artificial emotion. So I want people to think in terms of how do we do it differently? Can I give you a 3-minute class on the power of three?
Chuck, we are delighted and thank you.
Okay. I discovered years ago the power of three is incredibly powerful. It's a way to think. See, in sales, we have a product that we sell. We think the customer is going to say yes or no. You have an idea you want to sell to your company. They're going to say yes or no. You want to get a promotion. You're going to go up for the promotion. They're going to say yes or no. Well, what if there's a third alternative? And the power of three, looking for that third alternative is incredible. So if you're attending this right now, if you're watching, I want to give you the 3 E's that will define who you are. We're about to talk about your favorite topic, which is you, of course. Everyone has 3 E's. The first E is education. This is everything that you have learned formally and informally. It's every course you took when you were in school. It's what you've experienced recently. Anything that you've learned, it's the article you read last night. We learn something new every day. Don't forget that. AI learns something new every nanosecond, but we learn something new every day. Education, experience, any event in your life that shapes the way that you think, any event in your life that impacts the way that you think. And Nadia, I know some of yours, and I know it's shaping the way that you think, especially when you walk out in front of an audience and realize you're not going to speak, you're going to give them a gift. And then environment. The people you choose, the environment you are choosing to live in. And if it's not working for you, you need to add to that environment, maybe take some things out of it. Now, look at these three for a moment: your education, your experiences, and your environment. Who else do you know that has the same three that you do?
Nobody.
Nobody on the planet.
Right.
We are all distinctively different. Now, what does that mean with AI? AI is going to give us different things. You and I can go to AI right now, ask the same question, it'll give two different answers based on what they know about you, what they've learned about you. Three things never change. Truth, it eventually comes out. Sometimes it gets hidden under the covers, but truth eventually comes out. Natural laws like gravity, we wish we could avoid that one sometimes, don't we, every time we drop something? And
Yes.
then human nature, I see it's behind the thing here, but human nature is what AI builds on. I'm going to show you a bell curve in a moment, the three elements. AI looks at the masses. It looks at the most. There was a book that came out years ago I gave to all of my clients called The Wisdom of Crowds. If you ever see a jar of jelly beans, guess the number of jelly beans you'll win. Wait until you have about 50 entries, average them, that's the number of jelly beans. So we
Mm-hmm.
look to take the collective knowledge of people and use that. And three more that I want you to think about. It's similar to the automobile industry. What's happened with them? AI has changed the automobile industry. If you go to buy a new car, do you go down to the dealership and say, hey, show me all your new models with a heater? They've had heaters in them for 50 years or whatever. That it keeps evolving. Now what we want to know is, will it drive itself?
Yes.
Computers. When computers first came out, they had something called desktop publishing. For those of you in marketing, you saw the ugliest pieces ever created. Gee, I have 52 fonts to choose from. I'm going to put them all in this one document. And then the IRS, as I mentioned, we have these relationships with our cars, with our computers, with the IRS. What molds your relationships is the three E's. Now, let me show you a toolbox. There are actually tools you can use. I'm only going to be able to show you one today, but tools you can use for AI. What is AI? It is a specialty tool. Keep the word tool in your mind. Keep the letter A in your mind. It's an artificial tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. It's different for everyone, as I just said. You can use it for your professional life or your personal life. It cannot do anything. Don't expect AI to make you a success. What does it do? Why is it so popular? Thoughts always precede actions. Thoughts always precede actions. You'll hear people say it happened so fast I don't have time to think about it. Guess what? Your subconscious mind did. AI gives us more thoughts. It changes the way that we think so that we can change the way that we act. It requires clear instructions. You'll have to give it multiple as you start using AI. Give it more and more specific instructions. There is a learning curve, like there was with computers, like there was with automobiles. And it's going to get to know you faster than you're going to get to know to know it.
That's so true. It will get to know you faster than you will get to know it. And just a reminder, you created all these slides on Gemini.
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Yeah, why not? And by the way, I'm using PowerPoint. It has more capabilities. It's got built-in AI now. If you look at a bell curve, we have three segments. The two segments on the outside are the smallest. We call those outliers. The one in the middle is the mass, or in marketing, they would call it mass market. So we have negative outliers, positive outliers, and mass market. When you and I walk out on stage, there can be 50 people, there can be 10,000 people. What we know is 10% of them are not going to like us or the horse we rode in on. There's nothing we can say or do. They're going to sit there with the folded arms and just
You remind them of
stand up.
someone else that they did not like.
Another 10% are going to come up. This happens to you more than it happens to me. They come up and say, "You're the best speaker I've ever heard." And we retain that title until they hear the next speaker. And that's the best speaker they ever heard. Well, in the middle is the mass market. If the IRS would concentrate on honest people doing honest things, the tax law would not be 75,000 pages. But what they're trying to do is cover everything. So in AI, we have people that we call the adapters. That's probably everybody on this podcast. You're using AI, you're adapting to it, you're trying to find better ways of using it and using it more often. There are the antagonists, and I still run into these. We were talking about this earlier. People who say, "I've always done it this way before, always going to do it this way in the future. Good
I
enough for
don't
my
need
granddaddy."
AI.
It's what?
People who say that I don't need AI. And I
No,
was
no.
fascinated that you said executives use it more than CEOs.
Yes, senior executives are more likely to use it than CEOs. I speak to those two audiences primarily. And salespeople are lapping it up or retiring. And they're an antagonist, they're going to retire. Then there's the admirer. AI can do everything for me. Actually, no, it can't. So, two questions you want to consider: how can AI help me now be better, faster, have use fewer of my resources to go forward, be able to do more, help others? Look at that list. No wonder salespeople are lapping this up. I can make more, better sales calls faster and have greater success. So salespeople have figured it out. AI can help me right now. But I want you to think about this because I've watched your evolution. What's next?
Yes, what is next?
Depending on the survey you read, the last one I read said 88% of people are misemployed, dreading Mondays, looking forward to Fridays. Well, if you want to change jobs, why don't you put your credentials, what your dreams are, what an ideal day would be into AI and see what it comes back with. It might say you could do something else with what you're doing right now, grow where you're standing. What could you begin doing? What could you stop doing? What else is needed?
That's very good. And have you tried that to go into one of the platforms, be it Grok or ChatGPT, and ask them to come up with an ideal job description?
Yes. In fact, the last one I asked was, give me a job description of AI. And it gave me one. And then I said, oh, what's the biography of AI? Give me AI's biography. You know what it said? We can't do it. We can't really tell when AI started. We can't really tell
That's
what
interesting.
the roots are and what its beginnings are. It's kind of interesting to me. For the antagonist, if that's where you are right now, full of fear, you fear the unknown. Well, the way you change the unknown, you learn. Just use the YouTube videos. How many YouTube videos are uploaded every day? I
Chuck, can
check
we
this.
stop there for a moment? Because you gave me the resource to an unbelievable YouTube video. And if you can prompt people to get to it, and for the recording, I'll make sure Alan has the link for it. But tell us a little bit more about that YouTube video with hundreds of truths and aspects of AI. Just a little prompt if anybody wants to look it up.
This was two experts. When I see the people who are deeply involved in this and have been, and they're significantly further down the road than I am, I want to listen to them. I can't go there today, but I know which direction to go. There's two names on that, and I'm terrible with remembering
No,
names.
that's
I'm good,
fine.
good remembering.
I'll post it into the
Post
LinkedIn sent afterwards. I will post it in. And it's basically it's focused on Christianity, you said, but every point could be applicable to other religions.
yes,
And it's if you search God is not predictable, he never does the same thing twice, as DNA and snowflakes have shown. I think you'll be able to find the video.
it's amazing. A pastor can write a sermon sitting in the parking lot when he shows up at the church, and have
Exactly.
his slides created. I mean,
But I love, go to YouTube videos. There's so much practice. This is so helpful.
yes. We're running short on time, so let me step through these. If you fear AI, for whatever reason, go to YouTube videos. 2.6 million will be uploaded today, and 20% of them are going to be about AI. Others are going to be cats playing a piano
Let's
or
say that
something.
again. 2.6 million YouTube videos are loaded a day.
Yeah, it's 360 per minute, I think. You don't have time to watch them all. That's why I ask you to specialize. Where are the YouTube videos? What can I learn about AI for this particular thing? And you go through that, you're going to become the person that's in the middle, the grower. AI will tell you you can do this. Now, if you're an admirer, get rid of the infatuation. That's what you're living with right now. Let's get to
That slide, Chuck.
it takes patience. Look, you're an early adopter. That's great. Become a resource. Don't become a nerd. The last thing we want to hear about is your last operation or the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whatever. Raise the bar for yourself and for other people, but keep in mind it's only a tool, and you'll wind up being an advocate, a grower. And then there we go. There's the adapter. Grow, learn something new every day. I spend at least 3 hours a week with my travel schedule watching YouTube videos. When I'm off the road, it'll be easily 12, 15 hours a week, just trying to figure out what's new, what's coming up. How can it help me? How can it help me now? What's next? Look for corporate opportunities. How can you help your organization with AI? And you'll need to sell whatever your idea is. Ask AI how you can sell your idea to your corporation. And then how can it help you personally? All AI is going to do is help you figure out what's next.
Chuck, first of all, I recommend that you do a search on Chuck Reaves and understand how much incredible value we got this morning. Chuck, if people are interested in hiring you to help their organization really incorporate these tools, you've given us a very broad overview today. How do they reach you? And I know you're also working with people creating much more interactive websites. So just tell us a little about that. Shameless plug, please go for it.
Yeah. First of all, to reach me, it's a very complicated email, chuck@chuckreaves.com. Just remember, we spell Reeves, Reaves. Some ancestor changed that. You can go to chuckreaves.com. You can go to AI for Sales, all letters, no numbers, AI for Sales dot solutions, not AI for Sales.com, AI for Sales dot solutions. You click there and you'll download a website that's actually a it's a PDF. So websites have always been fancy and we have transitions and all. It's changing so fast now that I have to update my website sometimes 3 times a day. So I use PDFs, interactive PDFs. PDFs now have interaction and AI built in. So you can build a website out of a PDF. Anyway,
Chuck at chuckreaves.com. Thank you so much. And Chuck, you mentioned GI, genuine intelligence. And I talk about genuine connection. So I am inviting everybody in the Atlanta area to come and join me for something that I promise you, Chuck, AI cannot do. And that is have real-time coffee and connection. So,
yeah,
Chuck, if you're in the area, this is October 13th.
okay.
And my daughter has the most wonderful cafe in Atlanta called Daily Chew Atlanta. And at 8:30 a.m. on October 13th, and I will make sure everyone has details, we are having an in-person connection. And really, the goal of this is to say, in an AI obsessed world, in a technology obsessed world, what is the one thing it cannot replace? So we're having an opportunity for people to just meet and greet. I told people we're getting complimentary coffee and croissants. And all I ask people to bring is great energy and their business cards. And you know as well as I do that real networking, building high quality connections in a world obsessed with technology is about being a go-giver as much as a go-getter.
What
And
you are teaching, Nadia, is the future. If you can bring a millennium or a Gen X or even a Gen Z with you, because they're not learning how to communicate, how to interact with people, they interact with things in their palm. You're in an important area right now. This is the future. This is the future.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because Marion, who was with me earlier, who helps me with computer things, Marion is a Gen Z, and she is doing so well in her career right now because she says her technical knowledge is remarkable, but she said what she's learned from working with both me and my daughters actually is the importance of the interactive social skills.
That's huge.
And we
That's a
also have
GI. Yeah.
wonderful Alan and wonderful Erica, also part of my support team, who are technologically brilliant, but also I would say who have mastered interpersonal skills. And the combination, that's why I love your AI plus GI equals ROI.
Yes.
So Chuck, what's masterful about you is you bring the AI, you understand the GI, the genuine intelligence. I'm
As,
changing it. Maybe if we said, rate your AIQ, your
oh,
artificial intelligent quotient, rate your GIQ, genuine intelligent quotient. And then what we all want is an elevated ROI, but the combination of the two. And so thank you again. And I'm Nadia Bilchik, delighted to be with you all today. It was just such a pleasure to have Chuck Reaves. Chuck, final words to our audience about embracing, and you've really said it all, but as speakers, we like to have a good wrap up. So I'm going to ask, I'm giving you this prompt. It's going to be a 3-sentence prompt. What we've looked at, what I'm asking you to do, and what the benefit will be. This is something I coach people on in ending presentations. So Chuck, what we've looked at today is what?
we looked at AI and what it is and what it isn't.
What I'm asking you to do.
Let's save that till last. I want to close with that. What was the other one?
What is the benefit if you do what Chuck is recommending?
The benefits are you're going to avoid being dragged back. There is no sitting still with AI. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. Now, the last one, this is how I sign every email, autograph every book. 2 words: teach others. Whatever you've learned about life, success, teach others, because of your 3 E's, they're not going to hear it from anybody else.
Chuck Reaves, what a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Good to see you.